So it's been a really long time since I've recorded one of these. I have been so distracted, but for the last week and a half, if not a little bit more, I've been in Australia as well as New Zealand. So much to catch up on, and I haven't had any good Wi-Fi. I've been trying to upload my 2 videos from Thailand, and I haven't been able to get them to upload on YouTube. Before I go into what I've been doing over the last couple weeks, just talking a little bit about how I'm feeling, being with all of these friends. I'm with a bunch of friends from Pike and Cal, and we went to a wedding in Australia, and it makes me homesick for sure. I miss my friends and I miss San Francisco so much, but it's good. It's a good time. There's lots of good jokes and partying and drinking, but it definitely brings me back to like 5-6 years ago when we just had like 25 plus friends in San Francisco and we're having a good time and partying all the time. And it also brings me back to, the routine in life that I had built and created in San Francisco over the last 5 years. I know I can always go home to it, but it definitely makes me homesick not knowing when that will really be, since my house is rented out for quite some time. But I'm going to be going home to Los Angeles, so I guess my second home, in about a week, to see my mom and my dad and visit my grandpa and see cousins and family. So that'll be really fun. I'm going to kind of hit the recharge button and get out after like 5 days and go to the Philippines with Carrie. And then I think, being able to recharge and get down to LA for a little bit is going to give me a good opportunity to spend a little bit more time traveling than I originally had planned for. So I think I'll probably actually end up traveling until the last week of April, maybe the first week of May. In Australia, I just did Sydney, and there was a wedding that I went to. So we had 5 full days there and a wedding as well. So lots of events around that. We took a boat out on the harbor. It was pouring rain pretty much the entire week except for our last day. It would rain on and off, but we got some really good weather on our last day, which kind of just made it worth it, a good way to see the city. And the harbor cruise was awesome. I really enjoyed it. Their harbor is beautiful. It's like not even comparable to San Francisco Bay, just in terms of all of the sights and just like how gorgeous it is. And then our other highlight, or my highlight of my time in Australia, would have been all the nights out. There's so many good dance clubs and bars, like all these little underground places with small dance floors. That was a huge plus for sure. We were out till like 2-3 a.m. every night. And then additionally, we did about I think it's like a 9-mile hike on our last day when it was sunny. We're all pretty, tired from the wedding and everything. But it basically hikes from one bay to another beach called Manly Beach. And Manly's this really cute, kind of touristy town, but I loved Manly. I thought it was really cool. Sydney in general is a really cool place. I would love to go back there. And Griffin and Sam also said Melbourne was awesome, and I want to get there too. But I'm just not going to have time based on going back to LA. New Zealand, we've been camping in a camper van. There's 6 of us, and we have this massive RV just roaming around the island, the South Island. It's been a really killer time. We've done a couple of amazing hikes. We did one hike in Hooker Valley that has a view of Mount Cook, and you get to see all different types of terrain, but really like the highlight of it is Mount Cook, which is this beautiful huge mountain, and then additionally glaciers, and then under the glacial runoff there's like 2 big glacial lakes, which were beautiful, like icy blue water. And then additionally today we went on literally one of the sickest hikes ever. It was called the Gertrude Saddle hike, and it was so like much reward for how short of a hike it was. It was definitely super strenuous, but the terrain itself was so diverse that you like don't ever feel like irritated or annoyed or frustrated that you're like climbing uphill or you're doing this. It went from walking through this beautiful valley. It kind of reminded me of Yosemite Valley, but in a very different way, just like the beauty of it. Not really like a lot of similarities in terms of the faces of the rocks and mountains. But you walk through a beautiful valley and then you start climbing up kind of these rocks and following these streams. And then there's just like waterfalls, and then you have to climb through more rocks, and then you get to like these faces of rocks, and they have cables in the rocks, and you actually have to like hoist yourself and climb up like all 4s or all 2s, whatever you want to do. And then it's like more climbing. And then you reach this ridge, and it's just like sandwiched perfectly center between all of these other mountains. And then at the very end of it is the Milford Sound, which is part of Fiordland National Park. I mean, it was seriously amazing. And the hike itself is only like 6.5 miles there and back. So it's like really, really not that long. We're camping tonight out of a town called Teanu, I think it's called. And we're probably going to do like a little boat tour tomorrow. New Zealand so far reminds me so much of Norway. It's definitely like a little bit more green and lush, and then the mountains aren't really as like steep. It seems like New Zealand's a lot more wide, but they remind me very much of each other. And then after this, I have quite some time in Queenstown. I'll be there for like 4 nights, and then I'll have another 3 nights in Wellington, which is the southernmost city in the North Island. So looking forward to a little bit of one-on-one time. Traveling with a big group has been really fun. And again, it's made me miss my friends so much. And these are my friends too, but just in general made me miss friends and want to be home a little bit. But also going from traveling with just yourself and traveling with 2 people for the last 2 months and then immersing yourself in a group of 10 definitely comes with its own challenges. The other thing I'm really missing right now is just home cooked food. We've done some cooking in the camper, but it's just not the same. I just want to get home and make myself a meal. I really miss that. And I also miss really good coffee because we've been having crappy freeze-dried instant coffee. But I'll try to record something else in Queenstown, and hopefully I'll have good Wi-Fi there so I can post some of these. Okay, bye.